got everything. Okay. All right, ready? Let's go. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I wanted to go over everything that my naturopath has prescribed me to get my period back on track, to clear my skin, and to, in short, just balance out my hormones, which will make life beautiful again. So if you watched my previous videos, you'd know that, wait, are we recording? Okay, we are good. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I have to go like this to check if it's recording, and it is. Good, okay, we can keep going. If you've watched my previous videos, you'd know that ever since I got my period, I've always struggled with them being irregular, really painful, and having acne. And it's only recently I've found out that going to a naturopath and getting a saliva test done, that my hormones are completely out of whack. And since then, my naturopath has put me on a bunch of herbal potions and medication and stuff like that to bring back my period, to level my hormones, and to clear my skin. And I have got to say that it has been maybe 6 weeks of me, or a bit more, of me sort of every day taking all these sort of supplements. And I gotta say, I really do think it is working. But again, I'm just keeping you guys updated along the way. We're still in early days. But to be honest, like, I'm just wearing powder foundation at the moment, which in itself is amazing. I can't remember the last time, or if ever, I just wore powder foundation, because it was not enough coverage for me. I'd always be having to put on, you know, full coverage liquid foundation to really cover the redness, the scarring, and the acne itself. But at the moment, like, I'm just wearing powder. And I don't have any breakouts, so you can have a little look-see. How crazy. I'm so excited. It's incredible. Sorry, I'm just getting too excited about my clear skin. But seriously, look at that. Okay, so I'll show you guys what I'm taking. Because if any of you are struggling with PCOS, as I've been diagnosed with, or if you do have acne, go and see a naturopath. It could be a hormonal issue. So I just wanted to update you guys on what I'm taking. And again, all of this is tailored to me and my hormones. So this isn't necessarily something that if you've got acne, you're like, oh, I better go out and get this, because all of this is tailored to me specifically. Really think about, you know, your acne and what you're putting on your skin, and also what you're eating as well, because I found that changing my diet has also had a big impact as well. So without further ado, that was a really long intro. Let's get into what I'm taking. Okay, so essentially my naturopath has prescribed me Okay, so essentially my naturopath has prescribed me 3 things I'm to take every single day, and 1 thing I'm supposed to take after I've just had my periods. I always start off my day, which I've always done, and it's just a really good habit, is starting off my day with a big glass of water with some apple cider vinegar. Is just really good. There's just lots of benefits. I'll put all the benefits of apple cider vinegar here. But what I've been doing is also, because that's a really like strong taste, I've been putting this in as well, which is quite sweet, but this is what my naturopath has prescribed me. They're mineral essentials. It's an everyday mineral supplement. It's an everyday mineral supplementation. It provides minerals with enhanced bioavailability, such as magnesium, zinc, iron, to support all your daily requirements. It supports cardiovascular, immune, nervous system, and are used in energy and hormone production. There you go. So pretty much it's just a powder which looks like that. I just scoop out 1 powder, put it in with my apple cider vinegar and water, mix that, and that's how I actually just start my day. And then with breakfast and with dinner, so I take this twice a day, I take prostate. When he said I'm taking prostate, I was like, wait, huh? It sounds really weird, but what essentially it's doing, it's actually helping flush out all the excess testosterone, because as you've seen in one of my earlier videos, I've got more testosterone than like a teenage boy going through their pubescent years. I'm like off the chart. So actually taking a prostate helps flush out and reduce the amount of testosterone, which is, yeah, amazing. I don't know quite scientifically how that works, but that's what I'm taking as well. And the last thing that I do, again, morning and night, is I take this. So pretty much it is just a bunch of Chinese herbs all mixed together specific for my hormones and my issues and things like that. So I'm not entirely sure what's exactly in here, but I pretty much pour 7.5 mils, a little cup, and fill it up with water, and I drink that. This is just supposed to balance out my hormones as well. Yeah, I take this every day as well, which is something that he makes specifically for me. But those are the things that I take every day, and when I do, sorry, hair. Ugh. There we go. The last thing that he has prescribed me is, it's called Tribulus Fort. And essentially what this is, when I have my periods, as soon as I get my periods and start bleeding, which is day 1, on day 5, so which is about the time where I'm finished my periods, I start taking this. I take 3 of them for breakfast for 10 days. And what that does is that's actually trying to bring on ovulation. Because what I'm struggling with, because I have PCOS, I've got lots of eggs in my ovaries, but none of them are actually maturing, flowing down the fallopian tubes and through my uterus and bringing on a period. They're just failing to mature, and so because they're not sort of being released, they're forming cysts because they're not releasing. So what this does is it helps the egg release, and it helps me to then ovulate and get a period. So I take that for 10 days, and by the time you finish the 10 days, you're sort of halfway through your cycle, and that's when you should be ovulating. So this is helping bring about ovulation. Yeah, so those are the things my naturopath has prescribed me, along with my diet, where he's wanting me to bump up the amount of protein and fats that I've been having, because normally I've had a really high carbohydrate diet and a really sort of low fat diet. So he's wanting to balance out those macronutrients with fats, carbs, and proteins. So I'm having protein powder in my shake every morning, and I'm sort of just bumping up the amounts of good fats I'm having by having like avocados, nuts, seeds, flaxseed oil and stuff like that in my salads. So I've been doing that, and he's also wanting me to cut out gluten from my diet. So I haven't been having sort of breads and delicious things like that. They've been cutting out gluten because that's an inflammatory food. It can really irritate your gut if you're perhaps a little bit intolerant to that. So he's just being safe, and we're cutting out all sort of inflammatory foods. But on top of that, some other supplements I've been taking as well is a B12 tablet. Which, as a lot of vegans, they should be having, and actually most people should be having a B12 vitamin, because most people are deficient in B12, because B12 comes from like a bacteria that's generally found in like soil in the ground, and what happens is animals generally consume dirt and whatnot, and then people consume the animals, and then they get their B12 vitamin. But what's happening is the ground's becoming just so deficient in so many nutrients and things like that, that most people are actually B12 deficient, fun fact. And what I've been doing is I've been taking a probiotic every day as well, just trying to do everything possible to bring my like gut and balance out like good bacteria in my body as well. So I generally have kombucha every day, which I make myself. I should do a fun video on that actually, because it's pretty interesting. Comment below if you'd like to see me or see how to make kombucha yourself. Okay, I've deleted a bunch of stuff. Totally forgotten where I was up to, but let's just dive straight in. So a lot of the times, whenever you've got a problem with your skin, whether it's hormonal or not, it's really just evidence of something that's wrong inside of you. And so that's why I'm taking a probiotic, just to really balance out the good bacteria that's inside of me, as well as taking things like coconut yogurt, which I've been starting to make myself as well, which has been so yummy, and the kombucha that I make as well. So I've been taking lots of sort of good bacteria to balance that out. And the last thing that I've been taking every day as well is this, which is I've been having DHA, which is sourced from algae, and it's just really rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which again, just trying to make sure I get enough of the good fats inside of me. Okay, so a lot of people will take like a fish oil tablet or something like that. Because I'm vegan, I take a DHA because it's from algae and it's a good omega-3 fatty acid. And so those are the things that I've been taking every day, which seems pretty intense. Like, it's a lot of stuff. At the end of the day, you know, I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to try and get my period back, to try and get my hormones leveled. And you know what, if this is the way to do it, then that is so okay with me. Oh my gosh, let's do story time. Okay, so I got my periods a week ago, and I actually got them when I was at work. And the annoying thing is about having irregular periods is you never know when you're gonna get them. Like I've shared before, when I get my periods, it's a miracle if I can like stand up, let alone function or be at work and do work. But anyway, took a bunch of painkillers as soon as I got my period, and it was within, like, I got them at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, well, that's like 5 hours, I had 8 painkillers because I was in that much pain. I had 8 tablets, which is like the max you're supposed to have in like a 24-hour period. I'd had them in 5 hours because I was in so much pain. By 3 o'clock, I was at my desk like this. I was not even doing any work. I was just, don't vomit. Luckily, everyone was in a meeting, so I was just like focusing on not passing out. Oh, I was in so much pain and it was just awful. Anyway, my boss comes out and he's like, oh, Laura, like, I sent you an email about this. Have you had a chance to check that? And I look at him and I'm like, oh, no, I haven't checked yet. And he's just like, oh, are you okay? Is something wrong? Are you in pain? And I was like, and I was like, what's wrong? What can I help you? And I was like, I'm sorry, I just got my periods. And he's like, oh, okay. Do you want to lie down? I can clear my office and you can lie down if you want. And so sweet, he was so sweet. But at which point, I end up just bursting into tears. He's not only feeling awkward that I'm like, sorry, I've just got my periods, he then offers me his office space to sleep in, very lovely, and then I just start crying, and I'm like, I don't know why, I was even crying, and I was thinking in my head, why am I crying? It wasn't like the pain or anything. I was just crying. It was just all too much. And so then I just burst into tears. And then he's like, okay, my office is there. I'm just gonna leave you. I'm gonna go back to the meeting. Yeah, and then I just continued to cry until I finished work. Good times. That was fun. Just gotta laugh about it. You gotta laugh about it. Don't even know how we got onto talking about that, but yes, that's all I wanted to do in this video, was just to update you guys on what I've been doing every single day to get my clear skin. Anyway, the sun is almost set now, which is probably time for me to finish the video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a like, it really supports my channel, or subscribe if you haven't done so already. Lots more videos coming your way, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Mwah.